want, they would put me on their shelves, but if I marketed just to 4C or majority 4C, it wouldn't work for their shelves. So they basically turned me down unless I came up with a different marketing plan.
Wow.
So the struggle has really been real for me, but I am very defiant, and I'm sticking with the plan that I believe that God gave to me. And eventually I know I will be able to land back on those shelves.
Wow. As a 4C individual myself, I thank you for being the advocate of us.
Absolutely. It's not that, it's really hard, because when you think of people with 4C hair, I think other people, well, we would know different, but other people will think of a certain type of Black individual that has 4C hair. And that's not true, because
Right.
I have light-skinned friends who have 4C hair. Their connotation is just not true. And so I didn't want to fold just to get on those shelves. I wanted to be honest about it. And until I find the right retail partner that understands that, then I'll just stay in the local beauty supply stores like I am now,
Mm-hmm. That is nice. That is real nice. I mean, you know what? This makes me understand, and hopefully makes others understand a little bit more why we go on the shelves and we ask, why are they making it for this 4C? Like, I don't want to use the same thing someone else is, because I can't. Where's our shelf?
Where's our shelf? Where is our shelf? Where is our respect?
Yes. Yep. That's exactly it.
And some people have combo hair. Like my daughter, my oldest daughter, she actually has combo hair. So she has, she's going to kill me for putting this on the podcast, but like around her edges and around the front part of the frame of her head, she has, I would say, for even maybe a 3C, but then the middle is all her mother, is all 4C. So she has like different textures throughout her hair. So that other type of products is not going to cater to her whole head. So she has to use 4C products, or products that have high moisture that hydrates the hair. And it's a lot of people out there that has combo hair. When we were doing tests on my product, a lot of people I learned had combo hair. And I had never heard of that, but I thought something was wrong with my daughter. I thought maybe it's because I gave her a perm when she was young. I didn't know why her hair was like that. But it's a lot of people out here that have combination hair. So, all of those people, is just not us that we need to build our products around. Mm-hmm. Everybody doesn't have the curly wavy hair. So it's very important. And so hopefully, this go around, when I start meeting with retailers again, that they understand that this go around.
Hopefully. Now, what would you say to parents that have the girls, or even boys, that want to grow their hair out, that have the heavy 4C hair, or they have I'm going to just say, for an umbrella of textured hair? What would you say to them to keep them going and not really just cut it all off?
I would say you definitely have to hydrate the hair. Definitely. I would say try to look for products that have not just say that shea butter is in it, because what I've learned, and this is just me before I even started my hair care line, what I learned is they put all the right things, it's marketing, on the front of the bottle. Mm-hmm. But until you actually use the product, you don't realize that product is not for you. So what I would suggest is, what I've learned is hydrating the hair makes all the difference. And for my daughters and for me, that made all the difference in the world. So I would read the bottle and just look at the actual ingredients on there. You want more than four different types of moisture in there. So you want shea butter, you want coconut oil, you want olive oil, you want an array of different products that's actually in that's in your contents. You don't want a product that just says 100% shea butter on the outside. Look at it and actually read the ingredients and make sure that there are no sulfates in there, because that actually dries our hair out. And if you don't like it, I would say take it back to the retailer and try something different. And that's what I had to do, because with my daughters, we all have different types of different textures hair. And so it becomes very expensive buying this moisturizer for this kid, this moisturizer for that one, and then something different altogether for yourself. It becomes very expensive when you have to buy all these different products. So I would try some of the Black owned products. And I know with most of the Black owned products that the moisture and the hydration is really there. And it's not that many of the Black owned products. When I walk through Walmart and Target, now I'm starting to see they call it the textured side, but not all of those are even Black owned. So do your research and just make sure that you are purchasing products that's actually made by us for us. And I think you'll get a better result.
I like that. That's a lot. That's detailed. Don't cut your hair off, guys.
Don't do it.
His hair.
Don't do it. And don't just braid it up. Don't do it.
Everything I do, don't do it. If you know me, you know that's everything I've done, don't do it.
And me too. I couldn't, I didn't know what else to do. So I wore braids for a long time if I wasn't wearing a hair weave. And my daughters, they play almost any sport you can think of. And they're very athletic. And so the easiest way for me to maintain theirs is braids. So I braided theirs up a lot as well. And that's how I came up with my, what I have is a leave-in spray. And it's our kids line. It's called Be Sassy. And it's our kids line. And all of the products in there are for high moisture or moisture retention, keeping the kids' hair hydrated. But it's called the leave-in conditioning detangler spray. And when I tell you, it's such it is a multi-use product. I really should market it different. But if your children have braids, you can just spray it and it just brings their braids back to life. And it also hydrates the scalp. It's full of vitamins. And if I would have had that growing up, it would have been a lot different for me. And it also, if you have kids with curly hair, it also revives their curls and refreshes their hair. So it's just different products that we have now that we know about because I've educated myself with it that I didn't know about when I was younger. And it just makes taking care of our 4C hair a lot easier.
It sounds like all the products that I need.
I will have to send you a box and you can try them. And I promise you'll love them.
Oh man, I gotta get on that. And you have a physical store in Virginia still?
So I have a hair extension store in Virginia, which I closed during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh.
COVID was real. It was real.
That's understandable. But even as someone who is building the community, educating others, finding the solutions, you're also finding a time to be able to give back with After the Storm?
Absolutely. That's very important to me. After the Storm is my foundation, a nonprofit, and it gets me every time. And it's basically a foundation that we help women rebuild their lives. So it initially started with me helping a few young ladies who were recently released from incarceration. They were incarcerated and they needed a job. And so my hair care line was taken off and I already had the website going on. And I said, well, I can't, they were telling me their story and basically they couldn't find a job. If they found a job, the job wasn't paying enough to even cover basics, to cover their rent, to cover even half their rent. And, I was like, really? And as we were talking, it became really sad to me. And I understood the void that we have in society. Two of the young ladies actually were trying to retain their kids. So they were trying to get their kids back. But in order to do that, they had some guidelines that they had to follow with their probation officer and with the state in order to get their kids back, or in order to just to see or visit their kids. So their dilemma was, well, how do we supposed to do that if nobody would hire us or if no one would help us? And so with that, I said, well, I started out with one young lady, and she's like a sister. She's like a family member to me now. I don't know what I would do without her. And I said, well, you can come over and come to the warehouse and you can help us box up. And, I said, I can't give you no guarantees because business is up and down. We just started the hair care line, but I can offer you some hours. And as business grows, as it grows, then I can give you more hours. So she was fine with that. And she came to me one day and she said, well, because it's not, I was paying her cash. And she said, because we're not doing it the other way, my probation officer is having a problem and she doesn't understand. And if you could just write a letter. And I said, well, I'll do you one better. I'll go with you, or you can have her to come here. And I said, that way she can see that you're truly working, and I can explain the circumstances to her. So I actually went with her to her meeting, or I don't know what you call it, their appointments. And I met the lady and I explained to her the situation. We was a startup, that she was working. I couldn't afford to pay her 40 hours, but, I explained to her how it went. And the lady said, the officer, she basically was like, whatever. And so I had to prove it. I said, well, you can come by the warehouse and you can see the setup. And so she did. And things began to change for the young lady after that. She understood that it was a real job. I just wasn't in a predicament to put her on, a payroll. And she understood that she came there every day. And she had to do that just to have visitations to her daughter. And I was able to help her with that. And as the business grew, I promised that I would give her a job, and I did. And now she's self-sufficient. She has her own place, and she even has her custody of her daughter back. So she was able to get her out of foster care, which that really brought tears to my eyes. And I know I start to understand that that's a huge problem, that nobody really helps us out once we, it's a lot of people who get out of jail, or felons that get out of jail, and they really want to do the right thing. But it's a lack of jobs or people that trust them to give them a shot. And what I really found out was that our Black women were really at the bottom of the barrel. And that a lot of them, they didn't even have permission to see their kids because of it. And so I started my foundation, as I started to hire more, it became like a process. It's the same story about the PO. Can you talk to the PO? Can the PO come here? Every time it's the same exact thing. And I started to notice that it's a void there. And they start to tell me their stories about they might have been incarcerated for a year or 2 years. And one of the ladies, 12 years. And no one never brought her children to see her. And that really made me sad. And so as we began, she said they would write her and tell her things, but it was nothing that she could do because she was incarcerated. So as I began to understand and talk to the different POs, the probation officers, they began to tell me more. And so I decided to start my foundation. And what we're doing is we're helping them rebuild their lives. So with every sale of any of my businesses, I donate a certain amount over to the foundation. And what we do with that money is, because we're small, we donate it to a bigger foundation that already has their footing right now. So one of the foundations, one of them is in Miami, and they assist the children with going to see their parents that's incarcerated. So we provide buses, we provide rides, we provide, with our donations, we provide meals. Like they may stop them at Chick-fil-A, or they may stop them at Wendy's or somewhere for them to eat before they get to their mom. And then once they see their parents, it's a gift that's on the bus